You began a guided meditation video in your living room, but now you're taking your practice outdoors. Find mindfulness offline. Try YouTube.
I wanna get you all alone now and go hide away from the lights, but I don't dare to. I'm too fragile, and for that I do apologize. Maybe someday we can work it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to try. Baby, I don't dare to love you, and you know the reason why. Don't you know I'm way too weak to swim? Can't you feel the waves come crashing in? Running out of safety nets, 'cause every night I fall down in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, 'cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. I reach out in the middle of the night screaming, oh my, 'cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. I think I'm love drunk and it feels wrong, but I'm not afraid to admit I used to feel safe next to you, babe. Now I'm thinking I deserve a hit. Maybe someday we could work it out, but I'm afraid it's too late to try. Baby, I don't dare to love you, and you know the reason why. Don't you know I'm way too weak to swim? Can't you feel the waves come crashing in? Running out of safety nets, 'cause every night I fall down in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, 'cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. I reach out in the middle of the night screaming, oh my, 'cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. Love's too deep. Love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. Oh, no. Oh, baby, yeah. Don't you know I'm way too weak to swim? Can't you feel the waves come crashing in? Running out of safety nets, cause every night and every I fall down in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. I reach out in the middle of the night screaming, oh my God, cause your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. Too deep. Love's too deep. You know your love's too deep. You know your love's too deep.
Hello, everyone. I believe that I am on. If you can hear me, please put something in the chat so I know you can hear me. Hi, Nick. Welcome. Good to see you again. I was wondering where you went. Oh, you moved to LA. Oh, wow. How's it going in LA? I'm curious. And Pamela, welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. Perry S. Hello again, HGA. Welcome back, Perry. I'm seeing some familiar faces from yesterday's live. All right, can hear you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we're going to give it a few more minutes for more folks to jump on the live. Today's live is going to be a goodie. I'm going to be giving you some valuable information. So again, you may want to have a notepad or, electronic device, whatever it is that you can have handy to take some notes. Yes, this is going to be a really good share. How's everybody doing today? You enjoying the weekend? It goes by so fast. Oh my gosh. Ugh, tomorrow's Monday. Again. All right, yeah, like I said, I'm going to give it a few more minutes. We'll probably get started at 5 after. I like to be as prompt as possible so that I'm being considerate of the people who join at 1 or right around 1 o'clock. All right. Okay. So Pamela, you said you're doing well. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm going to do a real quick temperature check. I had to get out earlier today and it was -8 degrees. Let's see, where are we now? -2. It's -2 in Anchorage. We have a high of -1 and a low of -11. So there we go. Yeah, and I'm looking at the rest of the week too. We're in for a treat. It looks like it's going to start warming up around Thursday. We have a high of 20 and a low of 11. So yeah. Yeah, I can't believe these winter temperatures this year, you all. It's interesting. It's way different. Okay, let's see. We have one more minute. We're going to start with some housekeeping items, and then we will get into the share. Everybody's waiting so patiently. I appreciate it. Oh, Pamela, we have been going from 30s to 80s in Texas. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a huge difference. 30s and 80s. What is going on with this weather? Okay. All right. So it is 5 after. We're going to go ahead and get into the share. So first off, welcome back to my channel, Happy Girl Alaska. I am your girl, Terry, also known as your Alaskan homegirl. If you're new here, welcome to another live stream. So today is another exclusive live stream, and why I call it exclusive is because if you're wanting to participate in the chat is only available for those people who have been subscribed to the channel for 5 weeks or more. So if you haven't been subscribed for at least 5 weeks, you won't be able to comment in the chat. But never fear, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, tune in, support for the next 5 weeks, and then you will have access to comment in the chat. So I want to mention real quick, thank you so much for all of you who were in the live stream yesterday where we interviewed Vavante. He gave us his account of his experiences living in Healy, Alaska as a seasonal worker. That was a really interesting share. I enjoyed it. I feel like he was very open and honest about his experiences. So I told him later that I really appreciated that. And he's excited about coming back for another live. So I'm definitely going to plan to have him on again in the near future. He has some plans to go and visit Africa. So I'd be interested to hear about his travels. But I'm also interested to know when he's planning to come back to Alaska. So let's see here. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button on your way in. Hitting like on the live stream helps it to where this video doesn't get buried and the algorithm is able to pick it up. So if you could please do that for me, I would really appreciate it. And then also, if you're subscribed to the channel, if you could hit the notification bell, that way you won't miss an upload. I'm noticing that, I guess it's because I mostly post on Sundays. Sunday posts do really well, but then I'm also trying to post on Wednesdays, but I'm not getting as much engagement. So if you all wouldn't mind hitting the notification bell, I would really appreciate it. Let's see here. Yeah, so real quick, I'm going to be scheduling another live for this next Saturday. I'm going to be interviewing someone who lived in Barrow. So it'll be another share similar to the one that I did with Bay. And it'll be great to get, his name is Kevin, to get Kevin's perspective on what his life was like while he was living in Barrow. So I'm really excited about that. And let me see here. If you're not following me on Instagram, and if you have an Instagram account, could you please follow me? I'm under the same name, Happy Girl Alaska. And real quick, so I'm looking to see if the person who asked me about this in one of the lives is on, and I don't see him on, but it's okay. I'll bring it up again. So I have completed the outline of my tier structure for the membership. I am not going to share that today, but I will share it. We have a live happy hour coming up on June 7th, and that is when I am going to debut the membership tiers. So stay tuned for that. And then let's see. Oh, and then I have a giveaway that I'm going to be announcing during the live today. So I'm not going to announce it right now, but tune in. I will give the details for how you can qualify for the giveaway. I think you're really going to like the items that I'm going to be including in the giveaway. So stay tuned. So I think I've covered all of my housekeeping items. Let me just make sure. Yes. Okay. So I've covered all of that. So if you just got on the live stream, welcome. Today's share is going to be about 10 ways to save money while living in Alaska. So a lot of times you hear about the high cost of living in Alaska, and yes, the cost of living is high, but there are also financial benefits to living here as an Alaska resident. And so I wanted to share those with you all, see if you have any questions, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Let me see where I'm at here. Okay, there we go. We're still on. All right, so the first way that you can save money if you're an Alaska resident is to apply for the permanent fund dividend. That is a dividend that is paid out once a year, usually around October timeframe. And it's somewhere, the range of the payout is between $1,000 to $2,000. The PFD was our most recent one. The payout was $1,114. And you get that just for living here. There are certain criteria that you have to meet, and we have to apply for the permanent fund dividend every year. The applications go out, I want to say around January. They're electronic and paper, but I prefer the electronic one. It's so convenient. And you have until March to apply for the permanent fund. So at a minimum to qualify, you have to live in Alaska for at least 1 year. You have to be an Alaska resident. And Alaska has to be your permanent place of residence. So that's just at a minimum what you need in order to qualify for the permanent fund. So that's one way that you can save money or get free money while you're living in Alaska as an Alaska resident. Okay, another way that you can save money in Alaska is Alaska does not have a personal or state income tax. We get a break from paying high taxes here. There's no employee withholding for the state income tax. And it's perfect if you want to keep more of what you earn. So there are some other states that fall into this category as well. But just to mention, Alaska is one of those states. And Alaska experiences a high growth rate in job creations. And the revenues from taxes and retention of skilled workers. People want to live and work here because they know they get that tax break. And the benefit of that is the entire state benefits from the growth of its residents, people taking advantage of that. Okay, so number 2 is Alaska does not have personal or state income tax. All right, let me scroll down. I think I may have some more people who joined the live. Let's see. Okay. All right. And if at any point you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'll try and keep an eye out. Okay. A third way that you can save money is that we don't pay sales tax. So I know whenever I go to the lower 48, I always get, I don't know if you call it sticker shock or culture shock or whatever it is. I'm taking an item up to the counter to pay for it. And I'm thinking that the price that's on the price tag is what I'm going to pay. But no, they're tacking on anywhere from 3 to I think 7% sales tax. You don't have to worry about that here for the most part. And Alaska is one of 5 states that does not have a sale or a state sales tax. Another financial advantage over states that don't have a sales tax is they often have a higher income tax, whereas Alaska does not. So yeah, that's the third way, is that we don't pay sales tax. I don't see any questions as of yet, so I'm going to keep going. Another way that, or another tax break, I should say, is that you don't pay inheritance or state estate tax. So you may get a tax bill if the person who passed away lived outside the state of Alaska. And if they impose taxes, then you will have to pay the inheritance or state estate taxes. But if the deceased was an Alaska resident, then you won't have to pay that. State estate taxes are not imposed on deceased individual who die in Alaska. And so you can inherit that money free of charge. I wasn't aware of that until I started doing my research. So I think that is, under the circumstances, that is a good benefit that we have here. Another way that you can save money, yet another tax break, is senior citizens receive a tax break. So they get a $150,000 property tax exemption for living in Alaska as an Alaska resident. So for all you senior citizens out there, you may want to consider Alaska. To qualify, you have to be 65 and older, have an Alaska ID, so either driver's license or state ID. And you can also use a passport, birth certificate, or a military ID. So those are the forms of identification, but you definitely have to be an Alaska resident. And let's see, another thing that is a tax break for living in Alaska is that widows qualify if the senior spouse participated in the property tax break. So that doesn't only apply for the senior citizens here in Alaska, but if that individual passes away and say their spouse has not hit that 65-year-old mark yet, they qualify to participate in that $150,000 property tax break by way of their spouse who did meet that criteria. And in order to qualify for that, you have to provide proof of marriage, you have to provide proof of marriage and the deceased spouse death certificate. And then in the same way, military veterans also receive a $150,000 property tax break. So if you're a military veteran who is disabled, you can take advantage of that tax exemption. To qualify for that, you have to be an Alaska resident for at least 1 year. And the disability would have to have occurred during your time serving in the military. And your disability has to be rated at 50% or more to take advantage of that. Am I still live? I want to double check and make sure. Am I still on? I saw a little glitch on my side, so if somebody can let me know in the chat if I'm still on, that would be great. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So another benefit that you could take advantage of that would help you out financially is you could participate in subsistence fishing and hunting. And this is a program that's in place for hunting and fishing for survival. I would say that probably quite a few people that take advantage of it really don't need to participate in the program, but it is available. And the reason why the subsistence fishing and hunting was put in place was to provide food for individuals and their families. So the yearly allowance of fish for Alaska residents, that is, I think it's set at, is it 25 fish? I would have to look at that. But for each individual in the household, you're allocated a certain amount that you can catch. And what is required in order to participate in the subsistence program is you have to have harvest tags, a hunting license, and state and federal stamps to hunt waterfowl. Okay. So let's see here. I have a few more to go, but just let me do a real quick recap of the ways that I've shared with you so far. So the first one is participating in the permanent fund dividend. The second one is that Alaska does not have a personal state income tax. The third one is we don't pay sales tax. Another one is we don't pay inheritance or state estate tax. And then senior citizens receive a tax break. And then I should say property tax break. And then military veterans also qualify to receive a property tax break. And then subsistence fishing and hunting. Okay. All right. Another thing to mention is that I think to balance out the cost of living, this is in place, is that Alaska has a higher minimum wage. So the minimum wage increased from $10.19 an hour to $10.34 this year. So it went up. The national average minimum wage in 2020 was $7.25. So that's a significant difference. And another benefit is that employees who work over 8 hours a day receive overtime pay. And the way that works is extra pay is 150% more than your normal wage. And this works out great for seasonal employees. So yesterday I interviewed Vay, who had a temporary job here in Healy, Alaska. And if he worked over those 8 hours, he received that 150% additional pay. And there are exemptions from overtime pay for employees who are exempt from minimum wage. And in order to figure out who falls into that category, you can go and check out the Department of Labor. Okay. So Alaska has a higher minimum wage. And then I just shared how employees that work over 8 hours a day receive additional overtime pay. And if they work over 40 hours a week, you receive additional overtime pay. So it works out really well. It's definitely a benefit. All right. And then this last one I threw in is that you save on fashion by living in Alaska. Nobody really cares that much about, how people are dressing. Fashion is not a social status. It's not a status symbol, I should say, if you live here in Alaska. I would say that probably goes for any city in the state of Alaska. So I think that's one benefit. When I watch some of the YouTube content creators that live in New York or, some of these major cities, they spend quite a bit on luxury items. And so that's not really something I would say. The status symbols in Alaska are probably more property. If you have toys like four-wheelers, boats, RVs, those types of things will probably be seen more as status symbols than fashion, for sure. It looks like I have a question. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Dark Cocoa. Your question is, what time does the sun set for you right now? Dark Cocoa, I want to say around the last time I checked, which I believe was last week, our sunset was around 3:30. Yeah, around 3:30 is when our sun sets. Okay, well, those are the different ways, the 10 ways to save money in Alaska. So again, I'm going to do another quick rundown for you all. Okay, again, apply for the permanent fund dividend. Alaska does not have a personal state income tax. We don't pay sales tax. You don't have to pay an inheritance or state estate tax. Senior citizens receive a tax break. Military veterans receive a tax break. And let me clarify. So senior citizens receive a property tax break, as well as military veterans receive a property tax break. There's the subsistence fishing and hunting programs. Alaska has higher minimum wage. Employees receive overtime pay if they work over 8 hours a day, or if they work over if they work over 40 hours a week. And then another one I just threw in, fashion. That's not something that you would really spend a lot of money on if you're living here in Alaska. So, I mean, those are all the things that I wanted to cover today. One thing that I wanted to mention is that I have a few videos that I marked as the birthday replay. My birthday is December 17th, so that's coming up here pretty soon. And part of the giveaway is that I am requesting to have folks go out and review those birthday replay videos. And I have a few questions here. If you want to qualify to be the winner of the birthday giveaway, and I'll post these questions out on my community tab as well. So let me list out the questions. So, okay, there's a video that I made some years ago. Oh, hang on just a second. I see a question. Okay, so Kelvin, I'm going to come back to your question. I'm going to cover this real quick. And then as well as if there are other questions in the chat, feel free to go ahead and put those in while I run through the questions that are part of the giveaway. And don't give your answers here in the chat. If you know the answer, don't post it. Save your answers, because what we're going to do is I'm going to have you respond or provide answers through my website. And let me put it up here real quick. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. So my website is www.happygirlalaska.com. You are going to submit your answers by way of that contact me form. Okay. So, and again, I'm going to post the questions here because for those of you who are tuning in to the live, you get to hear it. You kind of get a leg up on the people that may only see these questions by way of the community tab. Okay. So again, birthday replay videos. I made a video about going to the state fair. This is one of the oldie videos, but people seem to enjoy that. The question I have is, what is the name of the horse I was talking to at the state fair? Okay. And again, don't put the answer in the chat. Put it in the contact form. All right. The second question is, if you remember, or if you go and watch the birthday replay for the downtown weekend vlog, I went to the brew house in that video. What drink did I order while I was at the brew house in that video? Okay. All right. The third question And the answer to this one is in my 10 things I hate about Alaska video. How long did I say our winter lasts here in Alaska? All right. And I have one more question, one more. Okay. What if you go to the video that's called See My City Downtown Brunch? The question is, what are the names of the totem poles that I showed you all in that video? There were 2 totem poles, and I stopped and I read the little placket that said what they were about, gave the description and everything. Give me the names of those 2 totem poles. So again, those 4 questions, I will pose them in the community tab. The way that you're going to win is if you get the person who gets the most questions correct. And then if there's a tiebreaker, I will send you all a tiebreaker question, and then we'll go from there. All right. And I will announce those winners during our happy hour that's scheduled for January 7th. And then I'll also reveal what the prizes are going to be. I may reveal that before our happy hour to get people excited about it, but there are going to be some really great gifts. All right, so I'm going to go here to the chat. And let's see here. So Kelvin Holloway, do citizens receive a check from the oil companies? So if you're talking about the Alaska Permanent Fund dividend, the answer is yes. That is one of the ways that I'm saying you can save money in Alaska. There are certain qualifications that you have to meet. Let's see here. Philly Dom. Yeah, there are certain qualifications that you have to meet. Again, this video will be available on the replay. So if you came in late or if you missed this live stream altogether, never fear. I always try to post a replay, including the chat. Let's see, Philly Dom, welcome. Hi, Alaska girl, watching from San Salvador, El Salvador, missing Alaska. Yeah. You know, I talk about leaving Alaska all the time. And I would say, I don't think it would take me long to start missing Alaska. I really don't. Yeah. And Philly, I would love to collaborate with you. I mentioned this in just about every live that I have because I really want to do that. So if you're interested, let me know. I think that would be great. Let's see. Are there any other questions for me? This might be one of my shortest lives. I don't know. Anybody? Any questions? Okay, so I'll keep an eye on the chat. Another thing that I want to mention is I do have a retreat scheduled for June 17th of next year. So it's going to be June 17th through June 22nd, and it's a getaway retreat. Oh, hold on. I'm stopping in my tracks here. Okay, we will do a live. Okay, perfect. Okay, Philly. Okay. That sounds good. I'm excited. What was I saying? So yes, I'm hosting a getaway retreat and I'm working out all the details. I'm so excited about the things that are going to be offered. One is that I want to have an intimate group. So I'm going to limit it to about 10 to 15 people. And what I'm looking to do is to have a meetup for everyone who is participating in the retreat so that we could put faces to names. And then I want to get out and do some exploring, show you all my city, get outside in nature so that you all can experience that. And then what I'm planning for is about 3 days in a workshop. And the topic of discussion for the workshop is I know what it's going to be, but I don't want to give it away just yet. So if you're interested in, because what I'm doing is for the people that have signed up on the wait list, and if you're tuning into this live, Thank you so much. I'm going to be offering an early bird discount to the people who signed up on the wait list. I will be contacting you this week. For a few of you, we've already outlined a date and a time that we're going to have our one-on-one, and it'll be no more than maybe about 15 minutes. But that's just to answer some of your questions. The registration is going to be open on June 7th. So for people to purchase the tickets to the retreat. But what I want to do is for those of you who have signed up on the wait list, we'll talk about it, make sure that the retreat is a right fit for you. And then we'll take payment for that. And then you will receive the early bird discount. So I just wanted to mention that it's going to be super exciting. I love interacting with you all. And I think it will be such a treat to have you all come up here and we spend time together for those 5 days. It's going to be awesome. So if you want to sign up for the wait list, go to my community tab and there's a link there for you to sign up. It's just for the wait list. You'll see a price listed, but you don't have to pay to sign up on the wait list. I'm collecting names and information, contact information, so that we can have our one-on-ones to make sure that the retreat is going to be a good fit for you. All right, so let's see here. Philly, you said you'll connect with me on Instagram to talk. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. All right, so does anybody have any questions for me? I think I'm going to leave the chat open maybe for about another, maybe 5 minutes. I got through that information a lot quicker than I thought I would. But maybe that's like to balance out, because yesterday's live, I think we went for almost an hour and a half. So if you haven't watched that live from yesterday with Vay, when he was talking about his experience in Healy, Alaska, make sure you check that out, because I mean, it's available on the replay. He gave out some really great advice and information. Let's see, we have some more people that are joining the chat. Let's see, Jean Nieves, welcome. Good evening from Philadelphia. Welcome. Let's see, Breeze Lee, hello from Charlotte, North Carolina. Are there event shows, concert tours, etc. in Alaska during the summer months? Yes, there are. I will say that last year, they didn't have as many events with all the things that were going on. There were different restrictions in place and mandates in place. They had to be mindful of social distancing. So there weren't that many event offerings, but this year I see where people are starting to post their events out on Facebook. That's another place you can go. I have my event posted on Facebook. So if you wanted to sign up for the wait list that way, you can also use my link. It's posted out on Facebook. But yes, Breeze Lee, there are events and shows and that kind of stuff that we have here in Alaska. I would say 2022, people are going to be making up for not having that last year. All right. Let's see here. I think we'll have just a few more minutes remaining. I want to leave it open if you all have any questions for me, either pertaining to the 10 ways to save, or if you have questions just for me in general, I'm happy to answer. Hold on. Okay, so Jean has a question. How do you cope being in darkness? Oh, wow. This is such a great question, Jean. So I have a couple videos out called How to Beat the Winter Blues, because that's one of the things that happens to me because of all the darkness, and I would say the cold too. If you haven't seen my video called Winters in Alaska Effing Suck, check out that video. I had a really bad attitude that day, but I mean, you know, those of you who have been rocking with me for a while, you know, every now and then happy girl is not happy. But the way that I deal with the darkness is that I have, I would say keeping in contact with people is a really great way. You want to stay social, and getting outside, even for a little bit when there's some daylight. I find that when we have sunny days, even though it's cold, that really does help with my mood. And another thing is I just recently ordered some sad lights. So sad light bulbs. So those are going to be coming in. I find that those help me out a lot. I used to have a sad lamp that I would have at my desk at work. Since I'm not in the office as much, I haven't been using that, but I am planning to put those light bulbs in. So that really helps with the darkness. Yeah, so those are the way that I deal with the darkness. It can be really tough. I think having so much darkness makes the winter seem a lot longer. They are pretty long though, about 4 to 6 months. That's a long time. But yeah, you definitely want to be social. I drink coffee. Coffee makes me happy. So yeah, that's how I deal with the darkness. Mhm. All right. Let's see, are there any other questions? Oh, okay. Okay, Philly, I just saw your other comment. You said we will do a live. Okay. Okay, that'll be great. All right. Jean says, understood, radiant woman. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I try to stay upbeat and keep a positive mindset as much as possible. Yeah, I have to admit, winters are kind of tough, but you do what you can, to keep your spirits lifted. All right, let's see. Perry S., what exactly are sad lights? I have never heard of them. Okay, so my understanding is that sad lights simulate daylight. So whatever the light spectrum is for daylight, that is what those lights will do for you. And because of that, it's supposed to help. I don't know if you can get vitamin D from using sad lights, but there's something about those type of lights that help with, I don't know what the chemical is in your brain, but it helps you to not feel depressed. And I feel like it works for me. Maybe it's the placebo effect. I don't know. But I definitely feel a difference when I have the sad lights on. Let's see here. Jean, wishing you all the best. Thank you, Jean. I really do appreciate that. I wish you the best too. So I guess I'll ask a question of the folks in the chat. Do you all have your decorations up for Christmas? If you get into that, I have to be honest with you. My daughter and I, we have not been on the ball as far as Christmas decorations are concerned. We went to the storage and we dug out our Christmas decorations and they have not gone up. And I was planning to do Vlogmas, but I don't know how I'm going to do Vlogmas if I don't have if I don't have my Christmas decorations up. I don't know how that's going to happen. So we may not decorate this year. I don't know. It's different. It's very odd. That's not like us, but here we are. Yeah, I do have some Christmas shopping I need to get done though. Definitely need to do that, mostly for people out of state. All right. Well, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, you all, and then I'll go ahead and sign off here. There are no other questions or comments. Okay. While I'm watching the chat, remember, if you didn't see the upcoming live stream for next, have I posted that? I don't think I've posted that. Okay, so I'm going to have another live stream on Saturday. And I know Saturday is outside of my filming window. So just be on the lookout for that. Like I said, turn on your notification bell. It's going to be a really good share because I'm going to be interviewing someone who lived in Barrow. And I believe he was there as a seasonal worker as well. And I can't remember if his stint was in the summertime or the wintertime. But that should be a really good share. And I think he has some pictures too that he said he's going to bring and share with us. Let's see here. Let's see, Perry, putting up decorations will definitely boost your mood. I agree. I agree. It's just a matter of putting them up, right? Yeah. Yeah, I should really endeavor to do that today. Let's see, Jean, much honor and respect to Indigenous in Alaska. Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to have an Indigenous Alaskan on this channel too. I'm gonna see if I can make that happen. All right, you all. Well, I think I see one more comment. Wow, there's such a delay on here. Here we go. Dang, I don't know how they handle the no sunlight in Barrow. Oh my gosh, yeah. And he said he's going to, well, it depends. I was going to ask him about that, but if Kevin wasn't there in the wintertime, then I don't think he would have experienced the lack of sunlight. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to be connecting with him later this week, and then we'll have the live on Saturday. Okay. All right, you all. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today. This was a pretty quick live. So thank you all so much for joining today. Be on the lookout for those questions that I'm posting for my birthday giveaway on the community tab. I'm going to list them out there. Submit your answers through my website. Again, let me pull up that link so you have it. All right, www.happygirlalaska.com, and use the contact me form, submit your answers, and then I am going to announce the winners during our next happy hour, which is January 7th. All right. Okay, you all. Well, thank you again. Enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.